Let's talk about monkeys and shit. Sorry. Apes. I'm out of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I flew solo for this one. Everyone else was like way busy, and the movie just started too late for some of them because a lot of them just have work in the next day. In fact, originally Jillian was just going to be down here with me just so I would have someone to talk to, like for Blended. I think Blended we did that on, but she was clearly way too tired. It is pretty late. It was an over 2 hour movie, and I don't know, it was like 10 or 11 that the pre-screening started. So, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Let me move this a little bit. I'm talking to a steering wheel. That's my co-host. Rise of the Planet of the Apes is a movie that, like, yeah, I saw that I when we did the review for that, like 3 years ago, the first summer that we did these midnight screenings on, I did end up recommending it. I do remember that. I do remember recommending the movie. I remember some of the things that I liked about it. I'm sure I probably recommended it based largely on Caesar alone, and maybe some of the other acting. I'm not sure, but as the years went on, it is just one of those movies where every time I think about it, I think about the stuff that just bothered me about it. Whether it was some of the annoying humans like fucking Tom Felton, or like the stupid fucking neighbor, or shit like that, and the blatant abuse of fucking CGI in that movie was distracting as shit. But again, like, I've only seen it the one time when I saw it in the theater, so there must have been enough stuff in there to where I kind of liked it enough when it was over with. So here's Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which actually, from the trailers, even though, you know, I remember stuff about the first one that just largely annoyed me more than I do the stuff I liked about it. But I remember liking the relationship between Caesar and John Lithgow and also James Franco. But then it all in my head just goes back to Tom Felton screaming "damn dirty apes," which was like that year's Spock screaming out Khan. Like, my bones just dropped as dead in the theater. Like, oh, you've got to be fucking kidding me with that. So, I actually really wanted to see Dawn. Something fell. Oh, my phone. I actually really wanted to see Dawn. The trailers really sold me on it. It looked darker. It looked, obviously, it looked way more post-apocalyptic. They didn't follow Jake's advice on shooting the fucking monkeys. So, and also, this thing's getting, like, crazy rave reviews as well. Like, everyone I know who has seen this movie, who caught a much more advanced screening than me, just cannot stop raving about it. And you know, it is pretty damn good. There are things that I like way better about this movie, and also a few things that I actually like better about the first, kinda. This movie is spectacularly well made. It's gorgeous to look at. The action sequences in it are stunning. The post-apocalyptic setting is haunting. When these apes are standing over shattered ruins of cities with either smoke or fire, or looking out over the sunset, or bonding with each other about how they remembered humans 10 years prior, and even how Caesar bonds with his son as well. That shit is really good. Andy Serkis, honestly, really makes this movie. Like, he's worth the ticket price alone on this. This guy absolutely sells every single frame that he's in this film. The climax of it is damn good. When it's the war between the good apes and the bad apes, it's intense. The movie gets very, very suspenseful. Hell, the opening 10 minutes alone were near worth the ticket price, where that shot you see in the trailer where it starts out with all the makeup on Caesar's face, and it zooms out, and you see him there full-on war mode, storming outside. They're riding horses. That shit's great, and the whole first 10 minutes is mostly told through subtitles because they're all just kind of using sign language with each other, even though a handful of them can talk and do talk as the movie goes on. But the whole silent aspect of it, where you just hear the rain, the storm, and the little kind of grunts that they do, the body language that they do, it's really, it really is impressive shit. And, you know, stuff like, you know, seeing an angry ape carrying a couple of machine guns, riding a horse, firing in the air while yelling. That's a cool enough image. Yeah. So, it's well worth it in that regard alone. There are some things I didn't care too much for about this movie. Largely when the humans turn up. Because I'll say that the humans are better in this than they were in Godzilla, because at least in this movie they have at least one dimension, which is one more than they had in Godzilla. And they stick, at least 2 dimensions. Alright, how about 2 dimensions? Sure. And they stick with those 2 dimensions throughout the entire film, beginning to end. The movie has often parallels between the ape community and the human community. There's a leader in both communities. There's a source of goodness in both communities. There's the inexperienced son in both of them. There's the hothead in both of them. There's, you know, the wise person giving advice in both of them. Alright, sure, I picked that up about 20 minutes in. There's a huge section of this movie that was honestly, I just wanted to scream at the camera. I just wanted to scream at the movie so bad in a portion of this movie. There is a small portion of this that wasn't easy for me to sit through, because it was constantly doing something. The humans or the apes, there was constantly a character in there doing something stupid. Jake's been saying for a while, you know, just shoot the fucking monkeys, just shoot the goddamn monkeys, just shoot the fucking monkeys. No, according to this, that's the last thing you want to do. All the bad shit in this happens starts from shooting the monkeys. You don't want to shoot the fucking monkeys. You don't want to do that. All out fucking war will happen. People will die. People will die. Apes will die. Assassinations will take place. All from someone shooting a monkey at the beginning of the movie. And this person, it's Alvarez from Oz, is just the stereotypical angry, belligerent, hothead human character that you've seen in a bunch of movies. This movie's honestly full of a lot of characters that you've seen in a lot of different movies. So, of course, he sees a monkey standing there, he shoots it, but it can't just end there. He's constantly screaming at him, berating him, kicking at him, firing his gun at him again, sneaking guns in. He's constantly doing shit he shouldn't do. It's a character that really... They had to write it in that he would even be there, because what the humans are trying to do, the humans are trying to get to a dam so that they can actually get power generating through the city again, and then and thus live, because they're already running out of fuel as it is, and they need to get through the woods to get to the power supply. And so they have to go in through where the apes are. Of course, the apes don't trust humans, but 4 humans are let in to try to work with this dam and try to get this power generator going. Of course, Alvarez is one of them, because they say, well, we need to take him with us because he knows stuff about this dam. So it's a flimsy excuse to get this hothead character to go with him so he can eventually fuck shit up, bring in a fucking shotgun, cause a fucking scene, and then on the ape side of it, is the Koba character, the one who's all scarred up and shit. Again, yeah, he's a scary looking character. I'll give him that. The scars, the eyes, everything. The growling, the screaming. He's a scary looking character. But he's just as two-dimensional as Alvarez is in this movie. Like, and yeah, they say, like, he says, I don't trust humans because they did this to me. Okay, so yeah, it does give a tiny little excuse there about why he's so evil, but that's it. He's just blanket evil through the whole movie. He's making assassination attempts, he's killing his own people, he's taking humans prisoner, really just because he kind of saw them working with guns at one point. So based on that alone, he's gonna betray his leader, and it's the same kind of character you've seen in a movie, where you have the noble, wise leader who people should be listening to, but then there's the one guy who's the hothead, and he doesn't. So we have, between Alvarez and Koba, we have two people like that in this movie, who they're just evil just so the plot can go right along. It got to a point where I really didn't know who to root for in this. I didn't know whether to root for the apes, or I didn't know whether to root for the humans. Gary Oldman is in it. He's not in it enough. The only kind of human moment that they give to him in this movie is when he's looking at an iPad and sees a picture of his family that he hasn't seen in about 10 years. That's a really good moment, and the movie could have used a lot more moments like that. All told, Gary Oldman's probably in it for only about 15 minutes. He's good because he's Gary Oldman, but again, the character he's there because he doesn't trust the apes and just wants to get a bunch of guns ready to eventually maybe start war against the apes. But largely he is off screen. And the main human in the movie, the main humans are Kerry Russell and Jason Clarke, I believe is the guy's name, who are bland as you could possibly fucking get in this movie. There's nary a fucking, I don't want to say emotion, because again, they have at least one emotion through it. Jason Clarke in particular in this film, this character is not charismatic. He's not an entertaining character to watch. He just kind of goes through the motions in this movie. He's not, I don't know what to say. He's just there. He's simply just there. He's a stock human character who's there to be the good guy. And by the end of it, he and Caesar have this mutual respect, this mutual trust for each other. And Andy Serkis is so good in this movie, but Jason Clarke is just there. He's just there to say lines, to be... I really know nothing about this guy other than he's a good guy. He's just not that charismatic of a character. He's not an interesting character at all. And between him and Kerry Russell and the kid, they speak in the same flat, monotone tone of voice throughout the whole thing. When they're on screen just having dialogue with each other, there are several times I felt like I was going to fall asleep just listening to them talk. I know it sounds right now that I'm really bitching about this movie, and I'm sorry. That was just the problems that I had with it. But again, there's really good shit in this movie. Anytime Caesar is there on screen, which is a lot, and halfway through, well, maybe a little more than halfway through, it seems like this twist is taking place where, I'm going to get into spoilers, but where it looks like Caesar's dead. Like, Koba just all out just tries assassinating him and then blames it on the humans, and that's how the war against the humans starts. So, it looked like Caesar's just flat out dead. And so there was a little bit there where I was like, I've got no one to root for here. There's this family that I don't give a shit about because they're just not that interesting of characters. And then there's the evil monkey who's just a two-dimensional evil screaming ape. That's it. But some time goes by and it turns out Caesar's not dead. So the family is helping Caesar get back to the city where the apes have taken over everything, to try to take things over again and get control away from this murderous ape who's just throwing apes off of balconies and shit and chaining them up in buses. And so that from then on, it got pretty suspenseful, because you really want Caesar to get back there. You really want Caesar to fucking destroy this evil-ass fucking scarred-up ape. You really want to see this happen. Like, it's a great lead. It's a great lead character, and he is the lead. He truly is the lead in this movie. Caesar is, and he is great. So at the end of the day, I would recommend it. I would recommend seeing it. Of the science fiction films that are out there right now, the good ones, Snowpiercer is better than this. I would recommend Snowpiercer before I would this movie. Edge of Tomorrow, I would recommend a lot more than I do this movie. But this is good. If you've seen Snowpiercer, if you've seen Edge of Tomorrow, yeah, definitely check this out. It's worth going to check out. Like, despite the problems that I had with it, there was really enough good stuff about it that I did enjoy. The ending in and of itself is a haunting image. It starts and begins with Caesar's eyes, and it's good stuff. It made me look forward to another one. These seem to be getting better as they go along. Overall, I think I do like this one better than Rise. Don't go see it in 3D. I saw it in 3D. You're paying extra money to put some glasses on to see a 2D image in front of you. It is not worth seeing in 3D. They do not take any advantage at all of the 3D. None whatsoever. There's no reason for this to be in 3D. It's too dark of a movie to be in 3D, to be perfectly honest. You're going to get a much more colorful image and much more beautiful photography seeing it in 2D. Do not go see this movie in 3D. It's pointless. It's not worth the extra money. Save it and go see the 2D version. So yeah, I'd like to see what they do with the next one. This really was its own animal. It didn't have the ridiculous fucking callbacks like the first one did with the damn dirty apes and showing the astronauts take off. It didn't do that. It has callbacks to Rise. Which that was good. When they find Caesar's old house, when he sees the picture of him and James Franco, when he's looking over video of him and James Franco together, and then realizes how much good that there can be in humans despite some of these evil ones going around. There was a couple of characters in this movie that I like. A couple of human characters in it. Chico from season 3 of the Joe Schmo Show pops up. Him and another dude, or a couple of guards who the apes are just kind of fucking with. One of them takes, it's the bad ape, he takes the booze, starts drinking it, and then gets their gun and shoots them. You see this in like previews on TV where it's just the ape grabbing the booze, drinking it, kind of spitting it on them, and then shooting them. So if you know nothing about this movie really, or haven't seen any previews for it, and you see this commercial, it'll look like this whole war started because an ape really wanted some booze. Which maybe that would have fixed everything, honestly. They all just go out drinking together. Yeah, why not? Booze would have helped the Tim Burton version. You add in booze into the Tim Burton version of Planet of the Apes, Wahlberg and Helena Bonham Carter would have started fucking. Oh yeah. then that one would have been the best. This is a much shorter video since I don't have anyone to bounce off of here, and the lights just went out. So yeah, I recommend seeing the movie. Next week is The Purge, Anarchy, and Planes. And Planes, Fire, and Rescue. Yeah. So that'll be next week. Oh fuck, focus just went out. Hang on, let me put my glasses back on so I can make sure the focus just went out. There we go, I can see myself now. So, I don't know how long the focus was out, so I apologize if this is mostly blurry. If you wear glasses, just take your glasses off and watch the video and it'll look just fine. I'll talk to you later.